Getting salty with sanity here at the beach. Stand on my feet. There's no place that I would rather be than getting salty with sanity.
Well, hello there. We're on. Lots and lots of technical problems. Had to figure out how to get onto my laptop. Don't know what's going on with my phone. Just chalk it up to cyber tech. Anyway, I'm back. We're here. This is episode number 5. And if you're joining me in the replay, welcome. Good to have you. If you found me live, well done. So we're not at our regular time. So for the month of May, I thought I would try something. I went to the $1.25 store. And when I do the shows, I kind of try to find materials that you can still get. And so what I found was these little, for $1.25, these little easels. And so I started painting this one. And I have 2 thoughts for these. You could give it, as on an easel, which is a lovely little gift. And you could, paint up the little wooden stand if you want. And so this is a black canvas, and then they also had a white one. So when you look at the back of these, they have a pretty good wide corners. They're I'd say they're about a half an inch thick, maybe a little bit less. But you can put some of those round magnets that I get for scrapbooking on the back. And if you put one in each corner, this could go right on the refrigerator. You could also, I found these little canvases in Hobby Lobby. And it was $1.79. Probably we're having a little bit of a sale, or I just decided that was a really good price for 4 little canvases. And you could do the same with these. So you don't need to have an easel. You could easily stuff one of these into a card. So that's that idea. And then what I wanted to do is I'm going to paint a table. And when you're drawing, first I drew this on with a white prism color pencil. Prism color pencils are like the old Venus Paradise, for any of you that are around my age and remember the Venus Paradise sets. They were like a color by number with the pencils, and the pencils were very soft lead, almost like a crayon, but you know, you could sharpen them and stuff. Anyway, Prismacolor pencils are that. They are the best pencils. Well, DeWitt is good, and there's other ones too for really adamant color pencil artists who make fabulous paintings with pencils and layering them up and everything. And you can do that with them. But anyway, so I keep one. I keep one in my stash. I think I have a silver one too that is good for doing some little sketching on dark things. And hold on one second. People calling me. So I started that one with a base coat. And what I'm using is my acrylic paints. I'm using both kinds. I'm using the golden tubes, and which are for, you know, more serious. And then, you know, the little bottles that you can get in Walmart or, you know, anywhere really that sells art supplies. I think Hobby Lobby has them. Anyway, so this is another one. I started sketching with a pencil. And I don't know if you can see that quite well. It's fairly light. So when you're making a sketch, you don't want to cut it off in the middle. You don't, you know, you always want to think of thirds in your paintings. So this is a little bit below thirds because I wanted enough room to put flowers at the top, and it's a tiny painting. So that one can be done, depending on how much time we have. This one needs to dry a little bit. It's got a first coat of the white, and it's a kind of a metallic white, which shows up kind of nicely on there. And then I put the dark greens on. They're going to be the background. So one of the things that I've learned is when you're working with paints, that the darker colors will recede and the medium colors will kind of form your base, and then your lighter colors will come forward. So to get that kind of a 3D effect, you'll want some you'll want those hues, and they can blend into one another. They don't have to be separate. So you can go from dark to medium to light. Some things you want to just do plain dark and plain white. And then where something is overlapping something else, you want to put a little bit darker color under where it's going on top. So you would go under the top leaf in this case, so that you could see it. It just gives it a little bit more dimension. Working this small is a little bit difficult. I found for my acrylics, I like to use these white nylon tips. They hold up pretty well. Your canvas, you know, it's got a tooth to it, which means that, you know, it's got a grain, and so it will it'll wear out your brush eventually. So you don't want to use like your really good watercolor brushes or your good oil brushes on that if you can help it. And of course, this is for $1.25, well, plus tax. You know, this canvas is not the best, so it's got a real grit to it. Better canvases you can use better brushes on. They're just a finer weave, and you know, if you're doing some serious painting, that's pretty much what you want to do. Okay, so anyway, and I think if you go to Michael's, you'll see different grades of canvases that you can buy. And that's what it means. It's the tooth. Most canvases come with a primer or a gesso already on it. You can gesso over and take out some of that nap on a canvas if you want. And gesso is like a white paint that's very non-transparent. A lot of artists use gesso. Also, if you do a painting and you don't like it, you can reuse the canvas by covering it up with the gesso. So I've done that a few times. And yeah, when you're taking classes, you don't always like the outcome because you're working fast. And
Hey, we got a few viewers, Patti.
we do.
Yeah, say hi to Lori, Trilby, and Renee.
Hi guys, welcome. Oh, I'm so glad you found us. Yesterday, I can't tell you how many hours I spent trying to get back on. Two
Renee,
years it's worked.
Renee, we were trying Friday. Her show is scheduled for Friday morning. Her and I spent 2.5 hours trying to get her in the studio, Renee, and we finally got her. She was shaking, and we had to throw in the towel, Renee. The tech gremlins got us.
The tech gremlins definitely got us. I was starting to take it personal.
But we figured it out. We perseverance always wins, and we figured it out, Renee. And we're here, and we're happy to be here.
Yes, we are. And sometimes that's what it takes. You need to take a break. If you start to get frustrated, it's just go and do something else and come back to it. It's the same thing with when you can't find something in the house. You had it. It's got to be here somewhere. And you just kind of finally you give up and you go to do something else. And then all of a sudden it hits you where it is. Or like I do, I ask the house. After I've searched and I can't find it, I'll ask the house. And darn it, if the house doesn't tell me where it is. Not in words, but it'll jog my memory.
No, Friday, it was a weird day. My morning started out with the dead baby possum in my pool that I couldn't save. I tried to save it. And then after I had to throw in the towel on saving that sweet little thing. And then there was my neighbor's cats fighting in my driveway. I had to go break up a cat fight in the driveway. And I said, you guys are ridiculous. God. This is everyone's neighborhood to share. You guys need to stop fighting. You're both beautiful. And let's just stop fighting and let's get along. And I had to break up that cat fight. And they both looked pissed off at me. I think they somehow were enjoying the fight for some reason. They were annoyed that I broke it up.
It's very possible that they were having a good time.
And then 2.5 hours trying to get you logged into the studio to do the show.
I know.
And it was raining. It was just a weird day.
A weird day, right? Yeah.
I went to bed early. I had enough of that day, and I just went to bed early.
Good plan. I, on the other hand, got something to eat and then continued to try and figure it out. And then tried to figure it out yesterday. And whatever I started yesterday, I managed to finish today. So I think yesterday wasn't a waste.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
So I'm just going over them with a lighter color so they'll show up more.
What are you painting?
I am painting the leaves that are going to hold the flowers. The stems are going to hold the flowers, and then there's the leaves. So it's just like a little vase with, it's going to have some paper flowers.
Oh, nice. Oh, and also on Friday when we couldn't figure out why you couldn't log into the studio, we had MM, the beautiful lady herself. She had a pullover on the side of the road on the way back from the dentist, of all wonderful things to do. And she had to pull
Everyone's
over
favorite.
and try to get into the studio to see if it was something on my end or your end or what. And
Oh,
it was nice. I got to have a little catch up with her. I hadn't talked to her in a long time, so that was nice. But we figured
yeah, it
out
was nice.
the tech gremlins were on your end. So
They certainly were. And, what are you going to do?
mm-hmm.
You can just do your best and try not to freak out.
Yeah,
Chocolate helps.
I can't eat
Chocolate.
chocolate.
You can't eat it or you don't like it?
I love
Maybe.
chocolate. I can't eat it. It's my
I
worst
think
enemy.
you like it. Okay.
Nope, it's my worst enemy. I'm
Oh,
allergic.
no. Oh,
Your baby girl is allergic to chocolate.
that's terrible.
I know.
All right. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going in with a little bit of darker to put in some shadows on this. And I think I'm going to pull up some yellow and just highlight a little bit of yellow into the wet paint. The thing with acrylics is it blends with the amount of water that you use in it. It's kind of like oil paints are a consistency that will blend really well. And usually you can use these full strength, but sometimes it helps to water things down a little bit. So especially when you want to do something that's not as opaque, so you want to be able to see through it a little bit more. And so I'm just kind of throwing in some colors of the yellow just to bring some interest and kind of tie into the bottom. So here we go.
Wow.
I was just waiting for that bottom yellow to dry.
Is that a black canvas that you
It
started
is a
with?
black. It came in a black.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen
black
those.
and it had the
Nice.
white.
Yeah.
This is a couple of coats to get this yellow to cover the black.
You know what? I might have to use one of those cards that you made for us because
Isn't that what I sent them to you for?
Yeah, I'm just so bad at getting to the mailing stuff out, but this week
Oh,
is
you will. Doesn't your mailman pick it up?
he will if I know the right postage. It depends if I know the right postage.
I know.
They're so picky. I just mailed something to Renee. Renee, I don't know if she got it. I just mailed something to Renee. It got returned to me because there was some bubble wrap in the envelope. It was just a regular envelope, but it had a little bubble wrap.
Yeah. If
They
you
don't like
use
that.
bubble wrap, it becomes a package.
So annoying.
I know.
So
So
I
what
had
I
to
have here
remail
now
it.
is I had a little round doily. And so I cut it in half. And then I cut out the circle. And I'm going to put that underneath my little vase.
Oh, how cute. So it's like 3-dimensional.
Yes, this is going to be a 3-dimensional.
Or is that 2D or 3D? I don't know what's the difference.
Well, don't get technical on me, honey.
I know I've heard
Not
people say
yesterday
2D,
and
3D.
Friday.
Is it a hexagon, an octagon? I don't know.
I know.
Looks good. Hang it up.
So I'm just going to tap this in. And put the top back on my glue. I love my glue. I did have to buy new metal tips with the little pin that goes in it that won't rust. And you can buy those separately because I soaked my, if you don't use them a lot, they kind of clog. And I soaked it, and I have this really fine crochet hook, really tiny, and I can get it in there, and I can usually pull it out. But I tell you, when this glue dries, it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
So far, we have that. So now what I have is, and you could, you could paint the background if you want. You could glue paper on it, whatever, with a pattern. So what I have is these other flowers that I got from the dollar shop. And I'm going to use 3 of those. The eye really likes to have odd numbers. So putting 3 of these on is going to be fun. Of course, I'm not waiting for this to dry, but that's okay.
I didn't know that. Is that like a study of the brain or something? The eye likes to have odd numbers?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cool brain stuff around art, that the eye will fill in.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to, worry as much.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's part of the intentional design, is to have it partially be there, so that you kind of can identify it as a, okay, so I got 3 of these on there.
I love it. So cool.
And then I had some of these other little yellow ones that I was also going to put in there.
And this week is a Teacher's Appreciation Week, apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so every day they have to do something sweet for their teacher. They have to do a drawing, a note, wear your teacher's favorite color. Every day.
I will say that school does a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I have one more of these that I can stick in there, but I don't know if I want it there. Maybe I'll put one down here. That's so sweet. I love that. Teacher appreciation. Because, that's a wonderful thing for kids to know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I put these on, and they're not symmetrical, and I'll show you why. I'm going to add some dots. That's going to kind of mimic, I guess, baby's breath kind of a thing. So if you have a good, point, this one's a little big for what I want. You can use the end of your paintbrush, but you also can have some of these tools that they sell. And so what you do is you pour out some of your white paint. I haven't used these in a while, and you know what? I'm going to need some new paints. At least the bottles. Okay. So I'm just going to put some little dots behind these.
I need to order more magnet stuff.
Ah, do you?
Yeah. I used it all. Almost all
Well,
of
that's
it.
good.
Yes. And I'm 5th place fifth, or I'm in the fifth round. I'm in second place, actually. Second place, I'm in the, where's the rest of my magnet? There it is. I'm in the fifth round of my contest, Timbo I Do contest for my children's song that I wrote for my children to make bath time fun. And I am I'm going to the finals next. Ooh, look how pretty.
So when you make the dots, you start out with you put your paint into the paint. You put your point into the paint, and then your dot is going to be bigger, the first dot. And if you keep going and you lighten the pressure, you can get smaller dots as you go up. And that works. So now I need to finish. I want to do more for the vase. But I also have this little bow that I'm going to put on. It's a little black bow. It's hard to see. Maybe I won't put it on. I think I'll leave it off. But what I do have is I had a little tag and I cut it down. And I wrote, "With love." Now you could put to mom, to anybody's names, congratulations, get well, miss you, anything like that. And I'm just going to tuck this on under the, there's a little bit of paint. I'm just going to tuck that in there. There we go. Of course, I could have put a little string on it. So there's an idea. Now,
pretty.
When this dries, I can do some more on the vase, so that it fills in better down there. I'll put some highlights and some darks to make it recess a little bit, make it look a little rounder.
Can you hold it up again?
I can.
Hold it for a second. I'm going to try to take a screenshot up to the camera. A little closer. Let's see. Oh, that looks, don't move. I'm going to try to get a screenshot. Got it.
Okay. Whew. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you could put a little ribbon bow or something like that. So let's look at this one from the start. And I'm going to do some different colors on this one. I think we'll go with some pinks. I got fuchsia. Pinks are cute. We'll go with some pinks. And of course, I'm using my Stay Wet palette, and it has a you can use regular paper, a nice thickness of paper, maybe a 32-pound or a 28-pound paper, but underneath it has this sponge. And what you do is you just fill it with water, and then when you see the paper is wet, and you just lean it to the corner, and it'll drain out. Goes my paint. And so once it stops draining out, then it's the right amount of water in there. So then you can put the top on, and I could save what's on this palette for the a next day or two. Eventually it will dry up, and yeah, you can use the paper for cutting up into journaling or whatever, collage.
You finished that? You finished that whole craft?
Yeah.
That's the fastest you've ever finished a craft on your show.
Woohoo!
You just broke a record in less than 30 minutes.
In less than 30 minutes?
It took us 2.5 hours and a few days later to get you logged in. But in less than 30 minutes, you finished a craft it's a world record. You just broke your own world record.
Well, that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. Got something right.
That's something.
Not my hair. Don't like my hair.
We won't talk about your hair, but you need a refund. Need your money
Everyone
back.
said I was cute. I said, this is the haircut I had when I was 6 years old. No, when I was, I said, but, you know, I look in the mirror and I'm pretty sure I didn't have these bags under my eyes then. Just saying, you know.
It is. I am so mad at that hairdresser. I want to.
Oh, I know. I had just gotten it to the point where I could pull it back.
No, I love the length. It's so long.
And I could get my goggles, you know, my swimming goggles with the ponytail sticking out. It was great.
No.
But
what's her? Give me her credentials. I'm gonna put a comment on Yelp.
It was very sweet, honey. You know,
they're always nice. No, they're always nice while they ruin your hair. They're so nice. They're always nice while they destroy your hair. And it takes 10 years to grow back.
Well, it doesn't take me that long. In 2 months, it'll be better.
You know what? The devil's nice too when he wants to be.
But who's complaining?
The devil knows how to get you in his chair.
So I know I've mentioned this before, but for anybody who's still watching, when you work with acrylics, and I do like the white brushes because, you know, the white bristles, because they're nylon and they last longer, you know, as I said, with the more abrasive, like if you're doing wood or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I use these for when I'm painting on fabric, you know, when I do the pillowcases and stuff for the T-shirts. But when you work with these, what you want to do is you want to put them into the water. And this container has a scrubby on one side, you know, like some raised lines, like a grid, and you can just brush it back. And then the other side has water and a place where you can lean your brushes while you're working. Because the last thing you want is for the acrylic paint to dry into your brush. It's almost impossible to get out. If you do manage to get it on your clothes, I found out if you have some Dawn dish detergent and you get it right away, you can actually, you know, save that shirt. So what was I going to do? Oh, okay. All right. Let's put those back in the water. So let's see. We've got this pink. So one of the other things is you want to wet your brush before you use it. And that'll keep the paint from going down into, oh, what do they call this part? I can't think of it. But anyway, you know what I mean? The bottom of the bristles where it hits the metal. If that's wet, it's so much easier to clean your brushes.
I didn't even know that there was a difference of canvases. I thought they were all the same.
No, and your paints are different. So like Golden's is one of the better acrylics.
Okay.
There's other ones too. Academy, Goombacher has a good acrylic. What else? Liquitex is good. Not always my favorite. They're a little more transparent than I want. This is the heavy body. And these go a long way, you know.
What is a really good canvas feel like or would look like?
Well, it's the grain on it. right? So it's a woven fabric canvas,
Okay.
and so you would have a tighter grain, and
Okay.
the sizing, the gesso sizing that they put on it, um, is a good grade. Um, it's not a huge deal, um, but it can be. So like these would really kill a brush. They're very coarse. They've got a lot of nooks and crannies.
No wonder all my brushes are getting ruined. I've been buying those dollar store canvases.
Yeah. So what you could do is you could get yourself if you want to, a tube of about a jar of gesso, gesso, and it's almost like a white chalk paint, and it will cover. It's like when you prime your walls before you paint something. Um,
Okay.
it'll cover. It would cover the color on putting. It would cover the colors. Uh, so that fills in the grain and gives you a better work surface. Some artists will use it to get a different texture. I think Uncle Bob used to do that a lot um, in his paintings, and you just kind of swirl it, and it's kind of thick. So there's like a pattern underneath the painting, very subtle, but it's just got a little bit of a pattern. Sort of like when you do not regular painting, but like sometimes when you're painting the walls, you want to go up and down, because if you go like this, you get those lines. So if you
Mhm.
want those, sometimes you put those lines using gesso on the back of your painting, and use that as part of the painting. It gives it more texture, some dimension, that kind of stuff. I tell you, I haven't painted in a while, so this is kind of fun. I've been saying I'm going to paint, but I can keep getting talked into other things, especially at.
I kind of like doing the show better on Sunday than a Friday.
Do you?
Yeah, like Fridays, everyone's still at work.
Well, we
Or
could do
they,
it on Sundays if you want to switch.
well, I got to check the schedule and check with Renee, but
Mm-hmm.
Fridays people are packing up to go on vacations. They're flying out
Mm-hmm.
places. They're working. They're exhausted when they finally get home from work.
Well, it would actually work a little better for me because Fridays I'm usually prepping for the Art Buddies Club, and when
Is this a good time for you in the afternoon?
it can be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, um,
Yeah, I'll find out if you're interested. I'll find out.
yeah, I am
I'll do my
interested.
homework.
Yeah, because the first Friday of the month I usually do a business meeting,
Okay.
so that's a lot of prep. Um, well, it's not a lot of prep, but it's prep.
So you're priming the canvas right now?
Yes. Well, no,
And
I'm
that
not.
is
I'm putting the background color in.
Oh, okay. You already primed it?
It was primed.
Okay.
I didn't prime it with the gesso. I'm just kind of, going around this little drawing that I did.
So now the background color, and
Mm-hmm.
then you already sketched it, and then
Mm-hmm.
now you're doing the background color, and then next
Yeah,
will be the drawing color, the actual painting.
yeah. And for sketching, I found that the um, the Bic pencils, these, they have the little white tip.
Yeah, those
These are good because they erase really, really well. So
okay.
if you're working, like when I work with the papers and I need to mark it with a line, I can just erase it really easily.
I always use those pearl erasers because they make us buy them for the kids' school supplies. So we always have the pearl erasers around the house. So I usually use that. But
What's a pearl eraser?
you know those little pink ones that looks like bubble gum or looks like a little pink mini soap?
Oh, okay.
Those little pink erasers, they're like rectangle shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Those. We always have to buy those for school. So
Ah.
those are easy to find around my house.
Well, if you're drawing, the pink ones will leave some color.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. So if you're doing a drawing,
I didn't
or
know
you want
that.
it, I always look for these white.
Oh, that
And you
makes
can buy
sense.
white erasers, which I have, but I find putting these on the back of my pencils saves me
Oh.
from getting a lot of pink eraser on my paper.
I actually have paint on my eraser.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good sign. That's a good sign. So when you have a little canvas like this and it's not going to have a frame, what you want to do is you want to paint the tops and the sides and the bottoms.
Yes.
Um,
I always do the sides.
it just, yeah, it looks nicer.
What do you do when I started painting a llama and now it's starting to look more like a Joey.
Oh, call it Joey the Llama.
Now it looks like a kangaroo.
Yeah. I was copying a watercolor when I was first starting watercolor, and I got a book, and it had a bird in a like a forest scene. So there was a lot of greens and stuff, but I really liked the bird, and it had instructions and all. And I just, I kept trying to fix it and get it right and everything. So, but it didn't look at anything like the bird. And then Uncle Ray came over and I hung it up anyway. And he says, he's a naturalist. He said, "This is really nice, Pat, but I just don't recognize that bird. What kind is it?" I'm pretty sure, Ray, it's very rare.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it doesn't exist.
Wow.
It's just what happens. And when you start drawing or painting or doing any kind of a craft, it's always a good idea to date your work and
Yes.
keep one or two of them so that you can look back and you'll be surprised at how much better you got.
I take photos of every painting before I give it away.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Then I can make videos. I have a video I could show
Yeah,
you.
I picked these up for you. Yeah, these have a bit of a grain too, but I thought, you might like those. Okay, so this is what we've got so far.
Pretty.
And, your drawing is just kind of a guide. It does, it's not a perfect drawing. If you were doing colored pencils, you'd want it perfect. You'd use a grid and all that kind of good stuff. If you're really good, you can use your eyes. And we have some really good ones in Art Buddies. But
the only thing that might not be good with Sundays is now my neighbor decided to start practicing drums. We have a very musical neighborhood, which is great. I love it, but wasn't ready.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Can you hear it? I don't know. Can anyone watching hear the drums? No, now he stopped.
Oh, there you go. That's the way it goes, though, isn't it? As soon as you say something, it's not there.
Maybe I should go live and blast my music after. I'll join along with the drums.
Join along. Oh.
I've been cutting my brushes. Like when they get all frazzled and they get out of shape,
Mm-hmm.
I take a little pair of scissors and I trim off the little frayed hairs.
Okay.
Is that normal? Does anyone else do that?
Oh, yeah.
Try to save the brush?
You know, one of the things that you know, you won't want to do that so much with oil
Okay, yeah,
brushes.
no, I
You
haven't done
know,
oil in like,
but
I haven't done oil in like 30 years or something.
yeah, huh?
I'm just acrylics now.
Yeah, I like acrylics because they don't take long to dry,
Right,
and
exactly.
you can
And they're definitely not as expensive.
that's true. I know grandma's paints were, pretty expensive. Oh, I see
Yes.
a spot of pink that I missed. Huh. Let's go get that in there.
I'm working on a dragonfly for Rock and Row Evans. Do you follow her?
I might. I'm
She
not
writes
sure.
she
You know
writes
how
a
I'm
lot
on
of her own
the
music. She goes live every morning
no,
on
maybe
Facebook.
not. Has she been on
Yes.
okay, then I probably have seen her.
I interviewed her this year, not too long ago.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I'm making her a dragonfly because I asked her, "What do you like? What do you
And I
want me
think
to paint you?" And she said a dragonfly. So I'm
ah,
working on that.
well, that's cool. So, you can dry these with a blow dryer,
Yes, that's
or
a
you
good
can sit them in the
idea.
sun or whatever. Um,
Yes,
so I'm going to try and do this with,
or put it near a heater
yeah,
or a fireplace.
yeah,
Just keep the pets away from it.
yeah. Sometimes I take my watercolors to the pool.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear the
Yeah.
drums now?
What?
He's singing and playing the drums now.
Oh, we should get him on the show.
I know. I know. Go knock on the door.
Get him to bring his chickens. Is it the
Come
same
on
one?
over. It's a party.
There you go. I can't believe you tried to save that possum, honey.
I saw it on YouTube. I see people saving animals all the time. I thought I could do it.
I know. Well, you gave it a good try. So,
I really tried. I was so sad.
yeah, I could see why you would be.
I wanted to have it as a pet.
Oh, pretty soon you're going to have a farm
I know.
because, you should get something useful like a cow, give you some milk.
Chickens.
Chickens with eggs are fun.
Yeah.
Chickens can be a really nice pet because, depending how they're raised, they can really, get used to you and become affectionate. And, but if they're like in a flock, not so much. So I'm using the side of my brush, my flat brush, instead of a pointy brush to get in here. And make my stems. Here we go.
Wow. Beautiful.
A totally different one, right?
And I love that it's so tiny because you can put it on a, windowsill, look at it while you're doing dishes,
Yeah.
or on a little kitchen counter space or a desk or a nightstand. I've been doing a lot of the smaller paintings just because People don't even have wall space. A lot of people I know don't have any wall space.
Yes. And you know what? There are so many artists down here that are really good. And we have shows and we sell. And there's just so much wall space. So you have to, and we don't, so, and you don't get what your paintings are worth. It's the other thing. But most of us are doing it, just to get enough money to buy new supplies. So anyway, so I've got this one, and I've got some of these different flowers. These probably came from Michael's, or
I was gonna say
a smaller.
Someone else. I don't know if you know Lily May, and
oh yeah,
she sings and plays piano, and she is part of the Cosmos Network. She
yes,
her and her sister would paint. They paint rocks, like little rocks. And I mean, they do paintings also, but they used to do like trivia and do a painting giveaway. But they also used to paint a bunch of like little, river rocks, and then they would put them like in little spots when they go out, like on walks, so people can find them.
And they're so fun to find too.
They're fun to find, yeah.
I've found them around here, and then I put them out in my yard. And
what do you use for those rocks? Acrylic, just plain acrylic. Do you need a base for those?
Nope.
Okay.
Acrylic's pretty versatile.
Do you have to wash the rocks first? Depending on how dirty it is.
Yeah. Sometimes you can buy them. But yeah, if you're getting them from the river, I would
well, even those rocks that they sell at Home Depot, like a bag of rocks, they're kind of dusty.
Right. They've already, you just might need to rinse those.
Just rinse them, right? Yeah.
So this one's getting smaller flowers and more of them.
Well, we have a few minutes left.
Okay.
I can't believe you've done not one, but almost 2 crafts in less than an hour so far.
I know.
Record-breaking crafting, ladies and gentlemen.
I just did not want to put this all away because.
And what are we painting? Let's see, next month. Well, we'll figure out if we're going to stick to Friday or go to Sunday. Next month is June. So we have Father's Day and Flag Day.
Month, if I can.
We have Juneteenth and first day of summer and Father's Day in June.
And some.
And probably a lot of prom.
Yeah.
A lot of proms and graduations in June. Weddings, baby showers, bridal showers.
All that good stuff, right?
June is a very busy month.
Yeah.
Vacationing. A lot of people go on vacations in June and July.
Yeah, we were pretty busy here for Easter break. Okay, so these are different flowers.
Oh, how cute!
And again, I'll do when
that's just glitter glue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use this for everything.
Favorite glitter glue, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions about the supplies, please put your questions and comments in the comment section, and Patti will respond as soon as she can.
Yes, I will. So I got these stickers. Can you read this?
I used to something. No, I can't read it.
All right. It says, I said to myself, self, and I knew it was me because I recognized my voice and I was wearing my underwear. Today is going to be a good day. So I put it on one of those little canvases, painted the background, put it on. I put some lace on the back, and then I put 4
Magnet.
those flat magnets,
Okay.
and with this glue, and it's holding up really well.
Wow.
Right on there,
Yeah.
you know. But that cracked me up when I saw those. So I said, I got to find something to do with those. And yeah, so I did. All right. So I still have some more things to do with this. I could actually add another flower in there. Maybe another pink one. Yeah. Just, you just do what you want. We were working on some Zentangle patterns. One of the gals has been taking classes, and she gave us some demonstrations and brought in some paper, and we tried that, and that was fun. I was wondering if the girls would want to do that. We'll see. So next month, I'm going to try and bring us on a little excursion to my friend Judy, who's a very versatile artist, and show you some of her works at her house. She does a collage, and yeah, she's really she combines all kinds of stuff, nature, sticks, with weavings.
Next month?
Yeah.
She's going to come on the show.
Yeah, I was going to take the show to her house.
Okay, cool.
And try that, and kind of showcase some of her work, because she's pretty talented, and you can tell it's her work,
Very good.
Yeah.
We've been trying to get your crafting buddies on the show for a long time, so that's good.
I know. Well, she was going to come on earlier, but then something came up and she couldn't. And I think we're going to do it next month. It depends on if company shows up or not. But if I can't, we'll do something else. I'll think of something. I'm always working on something.
I know you are.
Just like you.
It's good to stay busy.
It is. Ooh, you know what? This pink bow looks cute. Put a pink bow on it.
Cute.
Just gives it a little bit of.
So if anybody wants to buy any cards from Patti Bee, please let us know in the comments. You can private message me, and I could give you her Venmo, or you can chat directly with her.
I'm going to be making
on the Crafting with Patti Bee group page.
Yeah.
You can send a direct message there if you like, and she'll get back to you. And she's got cards for sale. What else do you have for sale?
Oh, let me see. What do I have? I have some ornaments. I have
Albums,
matchbox, the little matchbook books.
Oh yeah,
the boxes that are decorated like the old-fashioned Christmas. Yes. I think I have them for Christmas and Halloween. Those are my 2 favorite holidays. And maybe some florals or something. I need to be making. I need some more feminine cards. And some of the my friends at Art Buddies want me to teach the 3-dimensional cards. The ones that have moving parts. So they do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
All right. Well, persistence
it.
wins.
We didn't save the possum, but we managed to do a show.
We got the show. We got her done. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
watching, everybody. Hi to the people on YouTube and Twitch if
Yeah.
you're watching. Thanks for popping in and
Oh,
saying
thank you so
hello.
much.
And yeah, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. And let us know if you have any crafting ideas that you would like Patti to do sometime this
Explore and
year.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Any
we'll probably have my my little co-host Coralie on again
Oh,
at some point. She'll be wanting to do something.
okay.
So,
She's so funny.
oh gosh, she is.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you about her showing me the dollhouse? And you know how she likes to scare me? And she shows me the little toilet in the dollhouse, and she opens it up, and there's a big black spider in it.
Don't tell Renee. Renee hates spiders. She's scared of spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. She screams so loud if there's a spider anywhere in the house. She screams like the neighbors can hear it. It's piercing.
So it's therapy that she scares me with them.
Probably. She's working out her
fears. She's working out her fears on, because she'll always, say to me, "Oh, it's only pretend, Grandma." It's only pretend. And I heard rumor that I do not have to be the wicked sea witch this year. I actually get to be a mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Looking forward to that.
All righty. Well, we look forward to seeing you and everyone on the show next month. Crafting with Patti Bee, and maybe we get to meet Judy. Is it Judy?
It's Judy.
Yeah, with Judy. We're excited to see you on the show next time. And everybody have a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you, and may you have a blessed day. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
So long.